The rise in anti-Semitism in Australia has become so dangerous that Israel has upgraded its travel warning for citizens travelling here. And it's no surprise when we've witnessed ugly scenes like this unfold in major cities, just days after the October 7 attack on Israel by Hamas terrorists, which was the deadliest day for Jews since the Holocaust. Israel's National Security Council has raised its travel warning to level 2. Citizens are now being warned to exercise increased precaution over increased attempted attacks against Israeli nationals. Several countries in Western Europe, including the UK, France and Germany, have also been raised to level 2, but protests have swept across major cities and college campuses. As the war between Israel and Hamas escalates, so does the rise in hate speech. Watch what unfolded outside a Jewish and Israeli-owned falafel restaurant in Philadelphia.
We charge you with genocide! You can't hide! We charge you with genocide!
Israelis are now being advised to check whether anti-Israel protests are taking place at their destination and to locate emergency service phone numbers prior to travel. Here in Australia, people are sharing their concerns on social media. One person wrote on X, "I have never in my lifetime witnessed the hate for Jews in Australia like it currently is. I have Jewish friends here and in Israel, all wondering about the safety of themselves and their friends." Another posted, "Wow, never thought I'd see the day a travel warning would be issued for Australia, but given the shameless behaviour of protesters in Melbourne towards Israeli families, I'm not surprised." And another wrote, "So shameful that Australian authorities have done little to stamp out the rising anti-Semitism."
And by the way, this isn't just happening in Australia, it's global. Look at this disturbing vision that I'm about to show you from the prestigious University of Pennsylvania, where thousands of young students took to the streets, and you can actually hear them chanting Intifada. Listen to this.
I think they're saying Israel must give. Oh yeah. This is insane.
Now, the definition of Intifada is a violent uprising, and it's historically included acts of terrorism. The fact that students are chanting this anti-Semitic nonsense is a very sorry state of affairs.
This is the latest on the crisis in the Middle East. Israel has renewed its calls for the mass evacuation of civilians as it widens its ground offensive against Hamas in Gaza.
It doesn't matter where you are now in Gaza, the fighting is getting closer and closer. People are sheltering in this hospital courtyard in the north of Gaza. Outside, the battle rages. Smoke rising from an airstrike nearby. Further south, they're in tents again in the hospital complex. But in reality, it's not safe here either. 3-year-old Khalid was in one of those tents when a missile hit nearby. This is the intensive care unit. He's being treated on the floor. His distraught grandmother by his side. Khalid was hit by a single piece of shrapnel as he slept.
We were sleeping in the tent when we found the boy bleeding, and when we took him inside the hospital we saw that a missile had hit behind the hospital. And as you can see, he's injured and he's in ICU. They say it's safe here.
In another hospital, or at a different time, Khalid may have lived, but he did not. He couldn't be saved here. Family took him away, another child lost. The Israeli Defense Forces have confirmed their operations in the north are nearing completion, and the focus now is on the south. Their latest pictures show soldiers taking positions deeper and deeper into Gaza. The instruction to the population is to move further south immediately.
We are giving precise instructions to Gazan residents near Hamas centers of gravity, urging them to temporarily move away from the danger that Hamas puts them in.
But it's not easy. This is the road south. A woman with children and local journalists are attacked. They run for safety. Bullets whistle by. Why they were targeted is unclear, but they were heading south. From across the border, the continuing targeting of the Strip is clear to see. Gaza City shrouded in smoke for much of the time. Groups of mostly American well-wishers are being given a tour of the various kibbutzim attacked by Hamas on October the 7th. They're at the border fence area. Amongst them, paediatric consultant Richard Schussler. His job is saving children's lives. His support for Israel is absolute, but it's difficult knowing what's happening so nearby.
I cry when I see Palestinian mothers holding little tiny corpses. It's horrific. And I'm outraged. But I'll tell you, as somebody who's pro-Israeli, very Zionistic, I feel horrible seeing those pictures. As somebody who's gone around the world to try to help children. But I'll tell you, every bit of that outrage and anger is not directed at the IDF. It's directed at the cowards of Hamas.
Israel's right to defend itself is undoubted, but it's the cost to human life that's the issue. And the numbers of civilian dead is equally, undoubtedly rising. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Southern Israel.